YouTube. If you tapped in, you already know who I am. If not, my name is Caleb Jarrell. Know yourself. Never be afraid to really set yourself apart and remove yourself and take time to really get to know yourself to the core. Know who you are, know what you're about, know how you handle situations, know how you handle business, know how you handle dealing with people. You know, you have a few people that may be in your life that they know about you, they know who you are, they know things about you, and they can point things out about you that you know, that you may not know about yourself. And it's good to have those type of people around because they'll hold you accountable. But if you go throughout life being naive to other people's nature, being naive to things that's going on in the world, being naive to a point to where you let people take advantage of you, you let people tell you who you are and don't believe in who you are at the core, and people will do whatever it is that they want to do. People will treat you however it is that they want to treat you. But when you start doing those things, as far as setting boundaries, as far as having standards for yourself, as far as speaking up for yourself, as far as actually knowing yourself and who you are and what you will and won't allow, then they start to act like you crazy. Then they start to get disrespectful. Then they start to hate on you. Then they start to be jealous and have envy feeling towards you. And it's not because you've done anything wrong. It's because you won't allow somebody else to control you. It's because you won't allow somebody else to disrespect you. And it's because you hold yourself to a certain standard of how you deal with people, so you just won't allow anybody to treat you however they want to. People start to feel like you think you better than them when you start setting standards and start setting boundaries and start having a certain way that you live your lifestyle. You know, for some reason they start to feel like you get boastful. They feel like you start to think that you're bigger than everybody else in life, and that's not the case. You have to understand that you're not better than somebody else. External things, accomplishing things, having external things don't make you better than anybody else. But you have to understand when you are different. You have to understand when you have a different mindset. You have to understand when you're on a different level than somebody else. Saying all those things and living in a way where other people see that you're on a different level, that doesn't make you better than anybody else. But they take it as if you think you better than them. So what they start to do is they act cool in front of your face, but in their heart, what they do is they'll try to humble you. They'll try to dim your light for you. And if you anything like me, growing up, when I start to look back on how I was as a kid, you know, I never bothered anybody. I was always cool. I was always more to myself. But it was always people that would come pick on me. It was always people that would talk about me. It was always people that felt like I bothered them for whatever reason. Matter of fact, I was always sticking up for other people that was being picked on, but I wouldn't speak up for myself in those situations. And what that did growing up, it caused me to start dimming my light. It caused me to start dumbing myself down to make other people feel comfortable. And when you do that, you don't become your true self. You don't be authentic to yourself because you're holding back an energy. You're holding back your personality to please other people. So in the midst of doing that, you start to have these inside feelings where it's like one side of you is tugging one way and the other side of you is tugging another way. And it's because you put this shadow and this mask over your actual personality. You put this shadow and this mask over your gifts and your talents because you don't want to stand out. Because you were standing out in your natural personality. You were standing out in your natural presence. Just being around people, you stand out. When you have a light about yourself, when you have an energy about yourself, when you have these gifts and talents and different things that other people may not have, naturally you're standing out. And what that does is people feel like, oh, I have to shut him up. Oh, I have to stand out more than he does. So now it becomes competition for them. Does that make sense? It subconsciously becomes competition for them. And they feel like they have to, like I said, dim your light for you. People will try to dim your light for you. Only if you allow them to do it. And the thing is, you have to be okay with whatever response they have to you speaking up for yourself. You have to be okay with whatever response that they have to you setting boundaries and setting things that you won't allow other people to just walk over. You have to have a standard about yourself, but you won't understand any of that until you start to really take time to spend time with yourself. Understand who you are as a person. Understand things that you won't allow. Understanding that you're valuable as a person. Understanding that sometimes your presence, just being in your presence, is valuable for other people. And people take it as arrogance. People take it as having an ego, and that's not the case. It's just you understand a standard, and that's how you live your life. You live your life up to a certain standard. I'm not saying anything as far as external, but I'm saying as far as knowing who you are on the inside. You know you have a genuine heart. You know you genuinely care about other people. You know you genuinely look out for other people. You know you genuinely treat people right. And normally when you're that person that you look out for everybody else, you try to make sure everybody else straight, you don't have people that reciprocate that energy. So you go through life looking out for everybody else, and everybody else is just, cool with letting you live how you live, cool with walking over you, cool with taking advantage of you. And they'll do it if you let them. So stop letting them. Start setting boundaries, start setting principles. And sometimes you got to check yourself to understand, like, okay, why do I keep letting this happen to me? You feel me? Why do I keep allowing these certain people around me? Or why do I keep putting myself in these certain environments, in these certain situations, and I know the outcome that I'm going to get? You feel the tension when you go around them, but you continue to go around them. You feel the tension when you start to make decisions that you don't agree with, but you still make the decisions. And all of this is tying back to knowing yourself. When you tend to focus on trying to know yourself and do better and self-improve, be a better person, you start to separate yourself from a lot of other people. And that's not a bad thing. The right people you'll start to attract the right people when you start to work on yourself, when you start to work out, when you start to be disciplined, when you start to have consistency, when you start to wake up to work on your purpose, when you start to wake up and work on your business. You attract the right people. But you have to understand, when you're a light attracts bugs. You have to understand, when you're a light, people try to have a piece of that. People try to be a part of what you got going on. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to be able to discern the right people that come around. You have to be able to discern the right energy to be around. And sometimes your energy may be off. That's why I say sometimes you got to check yourself. But when you become aware of what's going on and how people are treating you, you can't fake it anymore. You can't just fake be around people. You can't fake a certain type of energy. And people may not understand that. The thing is, when you go through life and you make a decision and tell yourself, I'm not putting up with this anymore. I'm not being fat anymore. I'm not taking care of my health anymore. Or I'm not taking care of my health anymore. I'm not trying to be the best version of myself anymore. Or I'm done not trying to be the best version of myself anymore. Now you start to separate yourself from the normal. You start to separate yourself from the normal things that other people do. The average person isn't going to put in the work. The average person isn't going to see a lifestyle that they can do or be in. The average person isn't going to have a mindset or allow their mindset to be changed and be open-minded. The average person isn't going to apply any of the knowledge to their life. The average person may not sit in a certain room. So when you start getting in these rooms and you start getting in these different mindsets, you start to feel a shift in energy. You start to recognize hating. You start to recognize jealousy. You start to recognize people being envious. And they'll try to tell you about yourself as if you did something wrong for being better. Not better than them necessarily, but being better for you. And stop feeling guilty for being better for you. There's nothing wrong with working towards more. There's nothing wrong with trying to be a better person. But they won't tell you that. They'll treat you like it's something wrong. They'll treat you as if you did something wrong for trying to be a better person. And what would they try to do? They'll try to hold you back. They'll try to slow you down. So after all at some point you have to end up letting these people go. Because in order to be the best version of yourself, you have to let your old self go. You have to let your old habits go. You have to let your old mindsets go. So in the midst of that, you also have to let other people go. And that's one of the hardest things to do when it comes to family, when it comes to loved ones, when it comes to people that you always been around, when it comes to people that you grew up with. But in order to get to that next version of you, there's things that have to go, and you have to kill the old you. But don't feel guilty for doing that, because you're the head and not the tail. You're above and not beneath. And you have to speak those things over your life. You have to speak against those negative things that people speak about you. And the way that you know to speak against them is when you know it's not true. When they try to speak to you and tell you who you are, tell you what you do and what you don't do, tell you what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. When you know you don't have to put up with none of that no more. So know you. Don't focus on nobody else. Get to know you for real. Get to know you so you can know who to have around. Get to know you so you can know the purpose that you're supposed to be on, the path that you're supposed to be on, the things that you're supposed to be trying to achieve in life, where you're supposed to be spending your time and attention. Because what we do is we go through our life trying to put second things first instead of doing the first things first. But when you focus on yourself and you focus on your purpose and you focus on self-improving, you start to see that you attract the right things, you attract the right people, you attract the right energy, and now you start to inspire other people. See, that's the thing. The people that are actually trying to be better in life, the people that really put the work in, the people that are really trying to apply certain things to their life, they're not going to hate on you. They're not going to tell you to slow down. They're not going to tell you that you have a big ego. They're not going to tell you that you're selfish. They're not going to tell you that you shouldn't be doing anything that you're doing. What are they going to do? They're going to take it as motivation. They're going to take it as fuel. They're going to take it and apply things that they've learned from you to their life. They're going to come ask you questions to be better, not to be nosy, not to come talk about you to other people behind your back, but play cool in front of your face. So they'll try to fault you for being better, for trying to be a better person, for trying to be better in life, for trying to have a better lifestyle for your family, for trying to break things in your bloodline. So when a lot of people are on that path of getting to know their self, they'll blame you and treat you like you're doing something wrong. But you're doing the right thing, so stay on the right path. Continue to wake up in the morning and progress in life. Progress by working out, by taking care of your skin, by taking care of your teeth, by taking care of your health, by getting your hair cuts. You feel me? Taking care of your nails, taking care of your skin, taking care of your spirit, your mental, reading books, listening to positive podcasts, getting around the right energy, the right people that want to improve in life. Not for others' validation, but for validation for themselves. To know at the end of the day, I put the work in for me. I changed my life. And not only did I change my life, I changed my family's life. I changed the people that come after me life. I changed my kids' lives. To be able to say those type of things. And not in an arrogant way, but in a way of it being a fact. It's not an ego if it's a fact. It's not being selfish if it's a fact. It's not thinking you better than somebody else when it's a fact. So the fact is, you've been putting in the work, you're going to reap the benefits. You've been putting in the things that you need to be doing in life, so you're going to reap it. You've been working on yourself, so you start to be better. You think when you don't put the reps in every day, you're not going to get better? You think if I'm shooting in the gym every day, my jump shot not going to get better? You think if I'm cutting hair every day, my haircut's not going to get better? You think if I'm working out every day, my physique not going to get better? You think if I'm brushing my teeth 2 to 3 times a day, my teeth not going to get whiter? It's inevitable. When you put the work in, you get the results. And the results make people hate on you. The results make people jealous of you. But that's not your problem. All you do is remove yourself around those people. Remove yourself out of those environments. And stay true to yourself. Stay true to your character and who you are as a person. So I'm gonna leave you with this. Anything that you want to grow, you gotta feed it. So feed your mindset every day. Feed your purpose every day. Feed yourself an appetite of wanting to be better for yourself.